How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to ReWrite. So, yeah, last episode was really intense. Kind of an awkward way it played out, but it was still really, really good. We were able to kind of move forward and inadvertently had a very interesting, awkward dinner with Lucia where she dressed up as a maid in like a very, very inappropriate maid costume. And served us food and punched us in the face. You know, typical Lucia stuff. But it went pretty well. And then we got to see a little bit about her story and actually got a flashback into some of these things. So, like, it looks like what they did is they essentially made a augmented reality system that, like, sent stimulation directly into your brain. They used supercomputers to predict what the Earth's surface would be like in 1,000 years if we continue on our current trajectory, and the wasteland it would become based on the actions of humanity and the poisoning of the environment. And then they would subject people's physiological bodies to the stimulation of that, like, extrapolation. And the body would, like, believe it so thoroughly, it would react very, like, essentially like it would in that actual environment. And so people would often die. Lucia was, like, the only one who didn't. Now, that's fun in theory, but there's a lot of impracticalities about it. It's very true that, like, the brain can be so convinced there's a problem that you can die. And I pointed out the example of that is an allergy. An allergy is essentially where a substance enters your body thinks it misidentifies it as something life-threatening, and it throws your systems into overdrive. And when you go into anaphylactic shock, your body is spirals so quickly out of control trying to combat something that's not actually there that it can literally lead to your death. That's the kind of premise of the concept of that your brain can be so convinced that something's going on that it will have a physiological reaction and actually die from it. But that's a large step from a anaphylactic shock to your body literally, like, being burned. Because there's a difference there. Like, your body could react as if it were burned and can inadvertently do damage to itself. But, like, the actual burn wouldn't be replicated because, like, a lot of the damage to your dermis, like, sure, like, maybe the blistering your body could do artificially by, like, sending, because, like, what blisters are is they're pockets of, like, dead white blood cells and immune cells, because, like, that's what pus is. Pus is essentially your immune system and your immune cells, like, dying by the millions trying to protect your body, and that's essentially what pus is. But a boil is a place under your damaged tissue that fills with pus as your body, because, like, what happens is you get a severe burn and your defenses go down, and so millions and billions of germs are trying to get into your body, and so your body has to throw millions of soldiers essentially into the face of battle, and they die, and then your body actually piles up, essentially, it's crazy to say this, but your body piles up the corpses of the cells that tried to protect you and use it as a shield to kind of give the bacteria a place to, like, kind of do their thing and try and prevent them from interfering further into the body, into your body and corrupting more of your system. And that's essentially what boils or zits are. They're these front lines where they literally use the dead remains of your immune cells as a buffer to protect the rest of your body by, like, essentially using them as barricades. It's crazy. So feeling like convincing your brain you've been burned could make you spring out in boils as your body, like, literally focuses all of your immune system on spots that it thinks you've been burned, and those immune cells then die and then are gathered to make a barrier against something that's not there. But the damage to the skin, the actual burn damage, would not happen because your skin wouldn't be being burned. So you wouldn't actually develop, like, the same marks that you would see from being burned. You just essentially break out into boils. And that's the problem I have with this idea, is, like, maybe in this future realm, like, they're talking about how, like, your lungs would burn, like, maybe your lungs could go into an immune attack and shock, and you could actually suffocate in your own fluids, because that's kind of what pneumonia is too. It's like a buildup of fluid that your body normally evacuates. But, you know, if it's rushing material to try and repair damage to your lungs and there's no damage, that fluid could just build up in you and actually suffocate you. But then there's like, but other parts of it just don't make sense. And I'm guessing if somehow Lucia is then going to say that the poison of that world then started to spread from her, that's another thing, because like, again, like it's one thing to make your body believe something, but it's another to make it start producing something, unless the argument is that her body adapting to the poisonous atmosphere of the future, it inadvertently means that she excretes that type of poison. It's a stretch, but I could see it. It'd be a really fundamental, like, magical type of transformation, but we're in a world of magic, so technically it's on the table. Anyway, enough of that ranting. I didn't expect I would be rambling for 5 minutes about this. I'm just brain theorizing, because, like, I've been thinking about last episode for a while, so that's kind of my thoughts on the end and what I liked and didn't like about it. So now we're going to kind of finish off the conversation with Kotarou. I doubt there's a much more, but there could be, which is why I kind of stopped, because I wasn't sure if we would see like maybe 2 other scenes and then move on, or if it was going to be like another 30-minute conversation. And I was like, I don't want to. It was a decent place to stop. So, all right, let's jump back into it. A desert world full of poison and rust. Tennouji speaks, as if using every ounce of his imagination to picture everything I just told him. But it's pointless. No matter how vividly he envisions that bleak, desolate world, no one else can truly understand apart from me, being the lone remaining person to have gone there. I only spoke of the research that revealed the state of the world after 1,000 years. I intentionally hid the fact that I'm being created specifically to be sent 1,000 years into the future. Interesting, yeah, so, like, they're essentially going to send her as a time capsule into the future. But oddly, it feels like Guardians decided that they want to kind of do a new Adam and Eve type of situation, which ironically isn't that different from what Gaia's gamble is. Like, Gaia is saying, hey, we're going to let the world be reborn, and a lot of people are going to die. Probably not all of them, but we don't know. And there's a historical precedent to say that, hey, humanity's gone through this process before, and we managed to make it through. So there's a good chance that a refresh, a restart, won't lead to the extinction of humanity. It'll just reduce us down to a very base number. And then Guardian, who's saying, no, we want to avoid that. They're preparing, saying, okay, well, we're going to just design humans that can survive the end of the world. Because, you know, humans living in a desolate wasteland with no other life, it sounds like a great place to live. So, and then on the other side of that, it seems like they're gambling on literally sending one person, like one male, one female. You can't build a sustainable society based off of that. Like, if the Adam and Eve story is a legitimate story, like a literal story about the first man, first woman starting humanity, they would have had to have a completely different structure of their DNA. Their diversity would have to be a lot more dynamic than we see diversity now. And it also would actually make me believe that early humanity had a more structured, like, core genetic code that like could survive the initial, like, incredibly just self-destructive nature of, like, high what's it called? It's a dumb word, and I should know it. Incestual. Like, high levels of incestual, like, coupling. Like, you'd have to have a really robust starting DNA to make that work. And we just don't have that. So no matter how crafted Lucia is, if they expect Lucia and one guy to suddenly restart humanity, like, that's just not going to happen. And again, what are they going to live off of in that future? Speaking of him, the Next Generation Humanity Project would no doubt bring disgust. Tennouji's doing his best to imagine a nightmarish world that only I have seen. He closes his eyes and tries to conceive of what I've talked about. He's trying to empathize so that I won't be alone in the world. Even in a world 1,000 years into the future, he's still trying to stay true to his promise to me that he won't leave me alone. But here's the problem, actually. If Guardian's been waiting for somebody who could survive the future like she can, they literally have actually found that in Tennouji. Like, they might see that he's immune to the poison, and they might induct him into that program now because they might be like, wait a minute, he could possibly be the other half that we need. That really is a world of death, huh? So as humans, we're going to devour the earth till nothing's left of it, and that's what'll happen after 1,000 years.
そうだ。人が生き方を改めない限り、それは1000年より早まるかもしれない。
Ain't that terrifying, though. If we do, then the Earth will last a little longer. Oh, and actually, I just realized, ironically, the world of this future of ReWrite could be canon with the storyline in Starfield. Oh, that's kind of scary. Because Starfield's future is that humanity exhausts the resources, like, to the point where there was a cascading failure of the entire like environmental collapse. Humanity had to flee to the stars, and Earth's now a desolate wasteland that's inhospitable, full of poisonous gases, and and vast deserts where there's no water or vegetation of any kind. So yeah, I think my headcanon now is Starfield is the guardian future of the ReWrite universe, because in Starfield they even have magic. So it could be canonized. And in my head now, I'm going to make that my headcanon is a Guardian world line where Guardian's project works, and humanity goes down the path of Starfield.
私はそうと信じている。
So that's why you brought up the Earth's lifespan when we were talking about segregating empty cans. I remember very well what Yoshino and I tossed a couple of those cans aside. Lucia gave us a huge lecture about the environment. So that wasn't just her waxing platitudes, huh? As someone who knows the Earth will crumble into in 1,000 years, it'd only be natural for her to say that. It's actually kind of funny too, because like, one of my favorite books is The Hail Mary Project by Andy Weir. He's the guy that did The Martian. Martian, fantastic book. Hail Mary Project might be a little better. I think The Martian's like it's really one of the better books I've read, and especially a modern book, something that's like more recent. I think it's a masterpiece. Hail Mary Project might be even more so. It definitely plays with like higher level stuff that's really pushes the envelope of like reasonableness, but the creative ideas, and also like the philosophy behind it all is really powerful. And one of the things it tackles is a world that is spiraling towards like total collapse, and what that might look like for a society where the higher ups understand the risk and immediately start to coordinate, like putting aside differences to just try and get things done. But a large majority of the planet is unwilling or unable to learn and understand what's going on, and society slowly just starts to collapse the world over. And these like governments are like pouring every ounce they can into potentially finding a solution to save the world, whilst like their entire like foundation is just crumbling. And just seeing that, like playing out that balance in the book is really, really cool. It's disturbing, but it's also it's a very human look at that kind of situation, which is what Lucia's, fear is, and is like preparing herself for. Let's see. As someone who knows the Earth will crumble in 1,000 years, it'd only be natural for her to say that. Of course, everyone already knows the Earth will come to an end at some point. The moment they recognize that it won't be happening in their lifetime, though, they stop caring. However, she's seen the Earth's end for herself. Lucia, what you told me, I think everyone has to hear it. That way, even us stupid humans will try to be more careful with the Earth. Kotarou, that's the problem, though. We keep hearing about it. In fact, we hear about it so much, there's actual movements that not only are deniers, but actively work against climate-derived solutions, because they're just so insulted by the idea that they actively try to sabotage the changes that people are trying to make a better future. Like, isn't that depressing? Like, it's the thing about that. Like, I understand if you feel like green energy has been politicized. I get if you have ties or interest in investments in keeping like oil and coal systems moving, right? I can understand that motivation, especially the greed. I mean, greed's easy to understand. I don't sympathize with it, but I understand it. However, I've never once understood how people who could say like, I don't think that green energy is the right answer, can somehow be so against the development of better energy solutions in general. Like, yeah, maybe solar and wind power aren't going to replace coal and oil burning for like energy. But what's the harm in pursuing and expanding and growing that industry? Why is it such a huge deal for some people? And why would they rather see us just spin our wheels in what we know, knowingly destroying things and making situations worse? Because, like, even if you completely disregard, like, the very clear markers that excessive burning of fossil fuels is having an adverse effect on the long-term climate, I also don't understand how you can drive into a major city, especially in the winter, see the smog, the absolute horrific smog in the air, and just be like, yeah, we can just deal with that. Why not try and find a better solution? Why not try to make something better? I don't get it.
それを私の使命かとも思ったが、その未来を語ることは厳重に禁じられている。
Interesting. So, like, again, I wonder what the game plan is about not talking about it. Maybe it's like the way they got about to their information is super, like, taboo. Like, if they came out and said, like, hey, this is how we got this information, this is the experiments we committed, people would just be like, you're just a crazy cult, and not listen. They might have stopped the project, but the vision of the future is still the result of research, right? You all put so much effort into the research, it's kind of a waste.
話したところで誰もが天王寺のように真摯に耳を傾けるわけじゃない。1000年もの未来の話。気の遠い、どうでもいい話だ。
I know. I mean, even for me, like, I'm always big picture, future thinking. Like, I get stressed out because I worry that, you know, like, what's going to happen in the future? Like, am I doing enough? Like, I want to help and want to make it more. But even so, like, I get so caught up in just surviving, like most of us. And that's the thing, is like, I have an easy life. Can you imagine, like, some of the crazy, like, stuff that people have to deal with across the world? Like, of course they're not going to prioritize it. But those of us who are in, like, the more comfortable our lives, the more freedom we have, and the more resources we have access to, the bigger the responsibility for us to be thinking forward. And unfortunately, it feels like the most successful amongst us seem like they're just quite content with just enjoying their life, doing what they want, and kind of just give a big, like, middle finger to the rest of the world, despite the fact that there are literal individuals who could do so much good. Just don't. They just don't. They'd rather just, you know, buy Twitter or something. Hey, that isn't true. If there's even one person that happens to still be alive on the planet 1,000 years from now, they won't look at the desert planet full of poison and rust and curse all humanity that let it happen for 1,000 years prior. Dang, I said something super embarrassing without even batting an eyelash. However, Lucia looks pensive and casts her head down, contemplating my words. Whoever that is 1,000 years from now, I don't want to cause them any grief. That's why I'm going to do whatever I can, however small.
ほう、それは殊勝なことだ。具体的には何をする？
I'm gonna organize my garbage. Separating trash. Also eco bags when I get to the supermarket. I'll also be more mindful of air conditioner settings. Also, I'll stop holding in my pee. Sorry, mind if I use your bathroom?
廊下を出て左だ。
I like how he's being so earnest and he just throws it a casual, like, I'm also gonna stop holding my bladder. Can I use your restroom? I had no intention of joking around, but I couldn't hold it in anymore. Literally. Before Lucia turns to more violent ways of expressing her embarrassment, I had better headed to the toilet. Right as I step into the corridor, I sense something passing by. What the? It's from the rooms to my left where the bath and toilet are. It was as if the curtain divided by the entrance fluttered. I was just seeing things, right? No way. Is the key here? Did the key follow us? Like, it would make sense that she would follow us around considering our connection. But wouldn't that be insane if we just, like, find the key and it's like, Lucia, can you see her? If this were my own house, I'd be kind of creeped out, like there's a ghost. But, well, this is Lucia's place. Any impudent ghosts showing up, she'll just beat them to submission. Nothing to be afraid of. But when I head to the sink, I definitely hear a faint sound. It's from the bath. There's something knocking about in the bath, I'm sure of it. The sound isn't water dripping or anything either. Now that I think about it, she did mention that whatever the key girl is nearby, your perception gets all messed up. That kind of feels like it feels like there's a ghost. Maybe I'm actually sensing the presence of the key? The girl that Lucia and everyone else at Guardian have been desperately searching for? If I manage to capture her, it could turn the tables around for them. And I get to save the world while I'm at it. 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh man, you poor naive child. Gingerly, I push open the door to the bath.
Tennouji Kotarou!
What? What? You're in here?
なぜトイレに行くと言ってバスルームを開
I'm so confused. Wait, Lucy, you got it all wrong. I just sensed something suspicious. So I thought maybe the key girl you told me about earlier.
くえい不女子の浴室を覗き見ようとする変態ハレンチ女の敵
There's no one in the bath!
名浴室ならば好都合帰り血で壁を汚してもシャワーでさっと一洗いだ
That's terrifying. Well, isn't it convenient? Wait! Oh! So it was a person. I blast through the door to the bathroom in an effort to escape Lucia's wrath, but... What? Is Suzuru here? What are you doing here, Miss Disciplinary Officer?
とても不思議だ
She's here to spy on us, isn't she?
Suzuru!
Yeah. We were right.
あの服なかなか似合ってた
Oh, she's still technically dressed as the maid right now? No, she changed, but she's been here the whole time. Lucia very nearly unleashed her wrath upon Suzuru, but this girl, sneaky as she is, she quickly maneuvers around me, using me as a shield and deftly evading Lucia's assault. Like anyone's gonna do that.
痛いから嫌だ遠慮する
Nope. Man, wow, Suzuru talks a lot now. I am so lost. Could someone explain to me what's going on, and could you two not fight around me?
邪魔だどけ天王寺小太郎
I'm not covering her, she's just using me as a human shield.
まあまあそうとさかに来るなバラすぞ
Oh, she's got you there. Suzuru yanks me by the back of my neck, dragging my face over to where hers should be. Now I'm seeing stars and hearing a low din of a TV static. I get invited for dinner by Lucia in a maid outfit. Then Suzuru appears out of nowhere and we finish up with me eating a knuckle sandwich. I mean, fair. This is so unjust, I refuse to accept this. With Lucia's mood thoroughly soured, Suzuru and I are unceremoniously removed from her home. Okay, I think I at least have the right to know why she was in Lucia's bathroom.
まあ気分だ
Of course you were. You really expect me to believe people hide in bathrooms because they feel like it?
じゃああれだルチアの護衛だ小太郎がルチアにけだものしないか見張ってた
Oddly, I still don't believe that, but actually feel like it's a decent call. Does that ironclad class representative of ours really need a bodyguard? Just think about it.
確かに
Suzuru keeps trying to make excuses in the most lackadaisical manner. Well, not like she's ever been one to wear her heart on her sleeve. That's me. I'm here, Mr. Heart on Sleeve. Well, I have a pretty good idea anyway. Today's dinner was pretty fancy. You helped her with it, didn't you?
どうしてわかった
There was way too much sorry. Of course.
もう家庭的な食卓のつもりだったんだが
Lucy is pretty good at cooking, isn't she? Her packed lunches look pretty impressive.
ルチアは味覚に難がある
Ah, that's right. She's into some insanely spicy food and all. That's how it is. She thought that it'd be inedible for me if she seasoned the food as usual, so she asked Suzuru to help supervise the cooking and keep the seasoning normal. Yeah, I wonder if that testing is why. Like, she just had her, like, senses, like, sandblasted by the future visions. So, like, it's not that she likes spice. She probably struggles to taste. So, only extreme flavors even, like, get through whatever happened to her nervous system. And so, super spicy food for her is nothing but spicy food, which is great. And the normal food probably just tastes like mush.
買い物をしてきたのは私だが作ったのはルチアだ私は味付けしか口を出していない
Aww. And of course, you didn't feel satisfied just leaving after helping her out. So you hid out of sight without Lucia knowing and watched what happened. Is that right?
まさかあんな格好に着替えるとはびっくりだ小太郎はそういう趣味があるのか
I didn't intend for that either! That wasn't me. That was all Miss Nishikyojo's orders.
うーん
Well, I'm the one who foisted the conditions upon her to give the order in the first place. Meanwhile, Shuzuru's just as astonished at the idea that Miss Nishikyojo would ever give her an order like that. Oh, crap. Lucia and Miss Nishikyojo are members of Guardian was supposed to be a secret. I need to be more careful with what I say, since the two aren't supposed to have anything to do with each other outside of school.
大体想像がついた。秘密を喋らない代わりにと、小太郎がエッチな条件を出したに違いない。
Oh, when you put it like that, it's really sounds bad, isn't it? But she's absolutely right. Oh, ooh, I don't like that. Oh, you're technically right.
トーカは悪ふざけが好きだが、結構冷酷だ。小太郎も約束を破って秘密を漏らしたりすると、転校したりしちゃうぞ。
And that's if I survive. Like, I could see her transferring schools and then just... See? What could you be talking about?
ガーディアン。
Whoa! You're totally leaking it, Shizuru. Shh! I play it off by joking around a bit, but Shizuru herself mentioning the name Guardian totally caught me off guard. Does that mean you're in the big G too? I like that, the big G.
何のことやら。
Bit too late to be playing dumb, you know. Got something stuck to your throat? What the heck? It's a secret organization? We're not supposed to be blabbing about it in the open. In any case, this explains why Lucia and Suzuru know each other, despite being in different years. So the two of them are in Guardian, huh? I see now. So that's how you two know each other. She's so cute. That's kind of weird though. Okay, here's the thing too. Like Suzuru, I really like Suzuru as a character. She might be like I'll go over this eventually, especially because I need to play the whole thing to know. So I'm not going to be definitive about anything. But Suzuru might be one of my favorite characters, like total. I don't think she's going to be my favorite waifu-like character, like dateable character. But that's because, again, she really like exudes like little sister energy. And for me, that just puts a barrier down. Like there's a level where it's like, I don't know, like it feels odd. I can get why the story would do that, and I also get that people might find that little sister vibe to be a, like, you know, to be a thing. Like I get that that's a thing for people. It's not for me though. And if I have friends whom I view as like friends or like kind of like extra siblings, unfortunately that's like, for me that's the equivalent of the friend zone, where it's like, if I see you like genuinely like a sister, a big part of that feeling is that I don't feel any romantic feeling. And so for me, it's like with Suzuru, like I feel like she's a fantastic character, and I really look forward to seeing her route and getting to know her really well. But I don't know if I'd ever could see her as a romanceable type like pair up, like one that I would find very intriguing and interesting. Like I said, could be completely wrong, might change my mind when I play down her route, but as it stands, I'm like, don't know. Kind of weird. Okay, spit it out already. Lucia put on the act of being a clean freak because of her particular constitution. Namely, she imparts poison on anything she touches. That's why she avoids any and all direct contact with people. So, you can go into her place, no problems? You cooked with her and even shared lunches with her, right?
それくらい普通だ。
Oh, that's right. That's a fair point. I hadn't even like really thought about that. It means that we're not the only one immune to the poison. And she's going to explain it, but it's got to be because of her medicine. She's developed like a medication that can like save you. In fact, that might be why they took us to the hospital, was to administer whatever medicine she makes. For normal folks, sure, but Lucia is anything but normal. You're familiar with her situation, I'm sure.
私は特別だ。
Wouldn't she be even more particular about it with close friends of hers?
そうじゃない。私も体が特別なんだ。
Right. Shishiru drops the bombshell without batting an eye. Special.
ルチアが特別な体なように、私も特別だ。
I mean, you're so like...
私に毒は効かない。
He's actually so flabbergasted, but like, look at you! Really?
小太郎と同じだ。私もルチアの毒が大丈夫。
That's so cool. Seriously? Well, wow, that explains things.
だから、ルチアとは私しか友達になれなかった。
Since Lucia poisons anyone she touches, any friends of hers would need to be resistant to that poison, and Suzuru is the only one that fits the bill. That's why Lucia hasn't opened up to anyone else in class, keeping herself at an arm's length. It's the only friend and is only friendly with Suzuru.
ルチアと友人になりたいと思う人間も時にはいた。
Right. Figures. I'm sure she wouldn't want to lose any more friends to poison or sickness. Lucia and Chihaya are at odds with each other right now, but Chihaya tried to be friends with her too. If it weren't for her poison, I'm sure the two would still be friends, even if rather awkward ones. Neither Chihaya nor Lucia is at fault here. It's just that Chihaya doesn't have the physical qualifications to be Lucia's friend. It's ironic too, because she has like her special abilities, but yeah, I don't think she would be able to, withstand the poison. Heck, honestly, Lucia's poison's so strong, I wonder if Sakuya would actually be in danger of it. But how could a human possess those qualities in the first place?
だからルチアは自分の毒に耐えることのできる奇跡の資格を持つ人間がいつか現れてほしいと。
That's a big gamble, like to throw on us, because she did like push us towards befriending Lucia. So yeah.
小太郎はその資格を得て降臨したルチアの奇跡なんだ。
Dang, that's a lot to say. I'm not some angel or god. I'm just a guy with a slightly different constitution that can withstand Lucia's poison.
ルチアの毒はとても強い。
She's like, this stuff makes arsenic look fun. So it seems.
それに平気だなんて。小太郎は本当にすごい。
Since the same goes for you, you'd be just as impressive.
私もめちゃくちゃすごい。
She's like, oh, I'm way cooler than you. Keeping praise on yourself, huh?
か。
Yeah, bop. Relax.
Huh?
I already gave my word. I'll be there for her. I won't leave her alone.
小太郎すごいこと言う。ちょっと焼ける。恥ずかしい。
I agreed. I said some really cringy stuff there, didn't I?
コスプレで二人きりのお食事会より恥ずかしい。
Sounds even worse when you put it that way.
でも、それがルチアの憧れだった。
She always wanted to be a maid? Like that kind of maid? To cosplay? She's like, no! Ow, 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 my bad! I'll quit messing around.
ルチアだって女の子だから。いつかは男子と交際したいと。
Girls like her would have fleeting dreams of mingling with the boys their age. Yeah, that's kind of the downside though, is like, literally Kotaru's like the only guy that she can actually even potentially express herself with. It's nice that she more or less gets along with him. Because what if he was just a complete jerk, but being her only option, she probably would just inevitably fall for him, or at least want to experience and embrace like intimacy no matter the baggage that came along with it. And of course, the same goes for even the straight-laced class rep Lucia. Actually, thanks to her condition, the dream is much more fleeting and cruel than it would be for anyone else.
小太郎にとっては悪ふざけに過ぎなかっただろうが、今夜少なくともルチアが思い描いてきた夢の一つが叶った。
Oh, that puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
それだけは間違いない。
She's like, this was all a big joke to you. But for her, it was like one of the most meaningful things that's ever happened. Like, fetch me. To invite a boy over to her house and share a meal. It's definitely what a girl would dream of.
本当なら食事が終わった後、ルチアの部屋に招いてきっと
Jeez.
紅茶を入れてくれたはずだ。
That feels really intimate. That's a step up. Maybe I'll have to... Maybe we should allow her to kind of indulge herself at least a little bit. Within reason. But then this other ideas too is like, I was just thinking about, it's like, I can relate with Lucia here, because like, what was the line? To invite a boy over to her house to share a meal. That's one of my favorite things to do, but the reciprocal is like, one of my favorite dates was always to prepare food. I like cooking and preparing meals. So even in college, I did that. I mentioned this before, like one of the ways I tried breaking the ice with some of like my roommates and like other like dorm like mates and girls and guys like around us is I started throwing like these, I call them Waffle Wednesdays, where middle of the week I would just cook up like an outrageous number of waffles because breakfast cooking was something my dad taught me. So like I was pretty good at it. So I would make like from scratch waffles and just pop them out like crazy. And we'd do karaoke and board games. And I would just kind of have an open door thing. And it was like, hey, you're looking to do something, you want to connect with some people? Come on over here. Like, let's do it. It was a great way to break the ice, meet guys, girls, and just kind of have a good time. Obviously, it wasn't something that was consistent. It kind of fell apart after a while because everyone picked up their own lives and their own friends and kind of did their own thing. But for the first few weeks, when all of us freshmen were just really overwhelmed with everything that was going on, it was a really nice way to kind of be able to outreach to people. So for me, like, that was always a fun date. Like, even if it was just a one-on-one, like preparing a picnic or like making food together. I love that. I love cooking with somebody else. Especially if you work out like the recipe and even maybe like go shopping together and like find the ingredients, and just like the process of cooking is a good chance to like talk and kind of get to know each other and also kind of work together. It's a great day. It's yet another one of Lucia's most modest dreams that she told Suzuru some time ago. She would invite a boy over to her house, cook up a meal for them to share, bring him over to her room, make some tea, then liven it up with some fun conversation. She already has 2 people's worth of tea ready in the kitchen, I'm sure. And it all got ruined thanks to you.
バレないと思った。小太郎の勘が良すぎだ。
If I didn't sense anything weird, Suzuru would have managed to stay hidden, I suppose. She would definitely have been able to suppress her presence completely. She has the skills to back up her status as an agent of Guardian, it seems. Excuse me? This is all clearly your fault, no matter how you look at it. Quit doubting it!
小太郎は、
Hmm?
ルチアを一人ぼっちにしないと言った。それは、永遠にという意味なのか。
It's a good question. I mean, he doesn't know the full scale of Guardian's program for Lucia and their plan, so he couldn't have known like the idea that she literally is meant to be alive in 1,000 years. But even then, it's like, the way he's saying that, it does sound like I want to be around forever. And you know what? I feel like that's not too terrible a promise to make, because even if it's not romantically, I could be like, you know what? I want to make sure I stay friends with this person. Even if you go your separate ways, you can keep friendships going. Like, it might be harder and it might be like more hollow compared to like always being around each other in person, but like, yeah, I fully get behind this idea of like, yeah, I want to be friends with Lucia because she's a good person and she needs people and she can't have most people. If I can be an exception, like sign me up, let's go. We'll be best buds I'll be a pen pal, we'll exchange emails, whatever. Like, and granted, it could go down the route of like, you know, like romance and potentially marriage, but that's the thing, is like, that's beside the point. You can still be friends with somebody and maintain that relationship. It just takes a little effort. Well, I don't remember setting a time limit, at least.
礼拝堂で永遠に一人ぼっちにしないと。
Yeah. Oh, crap. Did I just create a huge misunderstanding back there?
誤解なのか。
Suzuru's expression is as subdued as usual. She's asking a good question, though. She's like, look, Lucia might not have thought about it quite yet, but she's going to probably read stuff into that, and she's also not the type of person to just, you know, come out and ask about that kind of thing. So it's good that Suzuru is bringing this up, because Kotarou needs to be thinking about the implications, and either if he needs to dampen expectations or if he doesn't want to dampen them, because that's pretty important. However, in her eyes lies a strong will. As Lucia's best friend, Suzuru is trying to ascertain a certain emotion of mine. It's far too easy for me to joke around and dodge the issue. However, No, I didn't intend to create any misunderstandings. I told her my feelings straight, right then and there, that I would never let her be alone again.
その言葉をルチアがどう受け取ったかは
Not in the moment, because
考えなかったか。
he never does. He never thinks about it like that. He just says whatever he wants. I hadn't thought about it in the context of a man and woman. Even if Lucia were a girl, I still would have said the exact same thing in that situation.
ルチアはきっと小太郎が口にした以上のものを受け取ったと思う。
she might have, but at the same time, she isn't acting like that. Although, actually, no, I take that back. If she hadn't taken it further than he originally said, would she have ever actually agreed to be in the outfit, even for a little while? Maybe because she was ordered to, she could, that would maybe, but even then, I could see her wearing it, but then wearing like a, I don't know, a bed sheet, like a toga, and like, technically, following orders, but without like showing off at all. But she didn't. Maybe because she feels that commitment is real and interpreted it thus.
今なら、まだルチアも誤解に気づける。そして小太郎も、誰も傷つけずに済む。
The problem there, Suzuru, is he has to know what he wants, and I don't think he does, and so he's gonna have to wait, and she's gonna have to wait, and like while time passes,
お前はルチアの運命の人になる覚悟は。
That's me. Just says it. I stop in my tracks and gaze up at the streetlight illuminating the dark evening road. I think back to all the things that have happened between her and I. Just, what is she to me? Did I enjoy messing with her because of her insane tolerance for stupidly spicy food? Did I feel bad for her because her germophobia was isolating her from everyone else? Did I think I had to look after her involvement with the story of Asahi Haruka? I still haven't decided how I should approach the human named Konohana Lucia. Classmate or friend, such simple terms aren't enough for the way I see her. We've already known each other long enough. But perhaps to Lucia, and I mean this with no pretense, but maybe I am her destined person. Oh, he's like literally saying like, I don't, like, he's like, it feels like I do have a bond. And now I can fit this role that she never thought would actually be real. And maybe that there's a level, he's like, maybe there's a level of destiny there that just can't be ignored. Not to mention, the way I spoke to her might make her think that too. Well, whether or not she takes it that way, I don't want to leave her alone ever again. Maybe I'm the only person who doesn't properly understand those feelings. Back in the church, I was absolutely livid at that poison, the thing that forced her into solitude. That's why I activated my power on full throttle, even though I normally forbid myself from ever using it. I got the new body that was able to beat the poison. That change isn't visibly obvious, unlike, say, muscles, so I'm not particularly self-aware of it. That should have been a drastic physical change, enough to rework every single cell in my body. I was afraid of this taboo power of mine since I was a little kid. So what drove me to use it at full power without any reservations? That's actually another good point too, yeah. He pushed the full throttle without even like hesitating. I'm pretty sure that even if my body still looks the same, it's already completely different from a normal human body from head to toe. When they did that checkup on me in the hospital, they told me my body was completely resistant to Lucia's poison. I could hear what the doctors were saying though, so I already had an inkling. Though I may look human, I'm an existence that's completely different from a normal human being.
らしいな。
Apparently, I'm the same as Lucia. I became that way willingly. Nothing, just talking to myself. Anyway, I don't want to let Lucia be alone, so I wished for my body to change accordingly. And even if I wanted out of it to try and make my body turn back, I can't anymore. Any changes created from my body's accelerator are irreversible. That's why I don't use that power carelessly. Well, I completely misread that line. It's the same. That's why I didn't want to use it so carelessly. I don't know why I looked at that line, I read the line, and I just rephrased it. I don't normally do that. I occasionally twitch a word here or there. That was different. I don't know where that came from. Just when I saw Lucia's tears, that quashed any fears I had. So basically, I haven't realized it myself is all. I think I've proven my resolve that I will never let Konohana Lucia be alone for the rest of her life. If I don't come to terms with it, Lucia is going to be the one hurt here. I stepped on an accelerator so that she wouldn't be hurt anymore. Well then, what else is there to fear? Sure, screw it! Why not? I already got this far. What a great foundation for romance. I will never let Konohana Lucia be alone. That's what I swore, no matter how Lucia herself takes it. There isn't going to be a single misunderstanding.
Kotarou.
Yeah. If her dream is to have tea while talking in her room after sharing a meal, then I'll be damned if I can't do it right this moment. I'll make everything she dreams come true. Is that enough resolve for you, Suzuru? I mean, I hope so. I feel like he knows what he's saying, but at the same time, does he? Like, he's kind of saying here, like, sure, why not? If she wants to get married, we'll get married. But I don't feel like he's saying that. But he's saying that. After a long silence, Suzuru takes a deep, quiet sigh. I haven't averted my gaze from hers this entire time.
ラブラブだ。
Aww.
焼ける。しかしすっきりした。ルチアの親友として、私は心から嬉しい。
You might have spun everything into a nice, neat story, but I haven't forgotten tonight's mess is all your fault. Absolutely 100% all you. Don't you think I've forgotten?
はあ、ごまかしきれなかったか。
I haven't forgotten. Not even a part. Not even a little bit. Not even the tiniest iota. Suzuru scratches her head in embarrassment. Despite that, her expression remains exactly the same. The way she messes around is pretty distinct to her. As Lucia's friend, Suzuru asked the question on her behalf that she would have never asked herself. I'm sure Lucia will hear from her sooner or later. Sometimes it takes a third wheel for two people's feelings to get across to each other. It's true, actually. That's very true.
小太郎はそっち。私はこっちだ。
It's already late at night, so I'll walk you home.
のエージェントだから全然平気だ。
Also, we're actually in the stage now where if Lucia hears that, she actually could start getting jealous. Lucia's never had to truly wrestle with like infatuation before, so who knows? She might become the very possessive type. Seriously, could you stop naming our secret organization so casually? Oh, why? My mouse hasn't done that in a while. All right, see you tomorrow.
小太郎、もう二度と邪魔はしない。そのお詫びにいいことを教える。
Let me get a drink. Oh, what's this gonna be? Little nice tidbit? Backdoor information? What is it?
ルチアが私に語ってくれた夢を教える。
Ooh, that's insider information. Her dream?
彼氏ができたら、こんなデートがしたいというルチアの夢だ。本年元旦バージョン、最新版。
Newest version, the update. It means that she's had this repeated dream of like, if I could go on a date and like just talked about it. Oh, that's actually adorable. I mean, we all have that. Like, well, at least I did. I imagine most girls and most guys have that. I doubt it might not be as in depth. My picture based on the girls I've been friends with would be that the girl version tends to be much more like meticulous. The guy version tends to be a lot more broad, but it's about sharing experiences usually. Like, I want to take a girl on this adventure that I know I'd enjoy, and the dream date is to be able to enjoy that with a girl that I like. You know, like that tends to be the premise idea. Whereas for the girl, it might be specific like feelings or specific like words of affirmation, gestures of affection, gifts, like those types of things probably are like the details matter more than the broad scope. For the guys, it's more the broad scope, like the adventure. And I don't think it's just guys or girls thing either. I think that could be like the trend is guys and girls, but guys and girls are like, when it comes to this stuff, it all intermingles. It's too simplistic to try and genderify it. Frankly, it's just people. Just some people get caught up in the little details that are like check boxes of like ecstasy, whereas others get more caught up in the adventure, the excitement, and the expressions. Let me hear it before it starts auto-updating. I listened to Lucia's ideal first date from Suzuru. It's a simple kind of outing, something that a normal girl would find typical. Her dream date is so modest, it doesn't even matter that she's an agent of the Secret Society Guardian. Guardian, eh? I wonder what kind of stuff they're usually up to. Not that it matters to me, I suppose. And especially not when I'm talking of Lucia as a young lady and nothing more. That's pretty cute.
こんばんは。CCN ニュースのウォレン・ベイカーです。衝撃的なニュースが全米を駆け巡っています。
Interesting. So this is a TV report.
我が国に拠点を持つ国際的人権団体 GA インターナショナルエージェンシーが本日合衆国連邦捜査局による強制捜査を受けたのです。
GA International Agency. I wonder if GA is like Guardian.
当局は同団体が国際テロ組織への資金供与に深く関わっていたと主張しています。
Maybe it's a shell company.
同団体代表アルバート・ミラー氏を筆頭に多くの幹部の身柄が拘束された模様です。ニューヨーク本部前にチャールズ・グレイ記者がいます。チャールズ、聞こえますか？
こちらは GA ニューヨーク本部前です。現在本部ビルは FBI によって封鎖されております。ご覧の通り、先ほどから駆けつけた支援者たちと地元警察の押し問答が繰り返されています。市民たちは政府が今世紀最大の目標として掲げたテロとの戦いを支持する一方で、
Boy. If only they knew how long that was going to be going for.
再び全世紀的な人種差別問題が蒸し返されることを大きく懸念しています。
Interesting.
押収したラップトップの暗号文書を現在 NSA が分析中です。
So yeah, it's probably his guardian.
CIA の分析では 85% の確率でガイアは日本にて何らかの大掛かりなアクションを予定しています。
Oh, no, maybe that's the Gaia headquarters. And the CIA, so Guardian is a coordination, so Guardian's like a secret UN. Okay, that makes sense.
いつ規模は
3ヶ月以内。かなりの規模です。
北米、欧州のガイア要注意人物が日本への連絡を盛んに取っています。これまでになかった兆候です。
Gotcha.
ガーディアン日本支部は数ヶ月前からそれを予見しています。
ジャパニーズは何と？
ガイアが鍵の潜伏場所を同国内で特定した可能性があると。
長官と上級分析官の見解は？
ガーディアンジャパンが証拠とする未縮上資料の信憑性は 5% 未満です。
Interesting.
しかしミュラーのラップトップの裏付けから少なくともガイアは日本国内に鍵が潜伏すると 70% の確率で確信していると思われます。
So here they have a fundamental misunderstanding where Guardian thinks Gaia already has the key or like has it hidden and they're just trying to figure out how to use the key, which is true. They're trying like Gaia is trying to fundamentally understand how to access the key. They don't realize that the key's emergence is something that's out of both of their control, but Gaia has been able to trace has the ability to kind of track down like when it's happened and a good maybe area of where it happened.
日本は極東教区を通じて鍵確保の日米合同作戦の提案と特殊部隊の派遣を要求しています。
Interesting.
聞く気がないなら同じ話を英国にするとも。
OK ジェームス。ジャパニーズの話を聞こうじゃないか。
Yeah, this is kind of cool seeing behind
まも
that
なく
curtain.
CIA 長官ジェームス・オットーの会見が始まります。国際的人権団体と国際テロ組織の癒着、それを示す明白な証拠がない限り現政権を揺るがす一大事件となることは避けられません。
That's actually a good point. In the midst of the actual war on terror, making claims that like an upstanding like legal and public entity in the United States is actually backing terrorist cells is a huge deal.
昨日はすまなかった。
That's gosh, she's pretty adorable now. Holy crap. Like she was always adorable, but like now that she's like being like all like she's being very cute and very like soft spoken because normally she's very like you know, like getting after you straight laced and everything, but now she's kind of like not sure how to talk to Kotarou. This is already very, very adorable. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Yeah, this is a good place for us to stop. What a fun episode this has been. Oh man. I'm kind of glad I ended things where I did last time. it would have been difficult to interrupt all those great conversations and kind of like talking to Suzuru, and even like kind of capstone of like a picture behind what Guardian's technically up to internationally, which is really cool to see. The world building is very, very interesting for a rewrite. It's both incredibly deep, but it also, it's been feeling super localized. So to finally see a bit of a bigger picture is really nice. And I wonder if we also get the bigger picture on the Akane route, just because she's so heavily involved in the higher echelons of Gaia that I wonder if we get to actually glimpse behind the organization as a whole, which will be very exciting to see in the future. Anyway, let's just stop for now and hope you have a great rest of your day and a good start to your weekend. Thank you. Well, not weekend, the week, midweek. My brain is muddled. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing this journey with me and being a part of this experience. I hope you've been enjoying yourself. I've been having a blast, and I always love reading your comments and seeing what you think about everything we cover. I really appreciate your support, especially when things get tumultuous. You might have known, like, we had a solar eclipse that went through the United States, and I'm not gonna miss that, so I went on a trip. Like, I'm probably still on that trip. I think I'm supposed to be getting back around the time this is going live, but you know, I'm gonna be out and about a bit. It's just, and I'll be following. You know, I'll have my phone, so I'll probably be able to answer like comments and such. But yeah, I'll be pretty distracted, having a good time with that. But it's like, it's nice to know I can still be posting and keeping my schedule while I do something like this. And hopefully I was able to get some decent pictures and at least get a good view. But anyway, enough about that stuff. I'm just daydreaming of the future, the very near future. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'm very grateful for the patrons and members who are supporting the channel. You guys give me a bit of a safety net. Like, obviously, I'm not anywhere close to making this some type of career or anything, but like, just knowing that I have a little bit of support, and that allows me to invest in the games and to get some art done for the channel, and most importantly, it really makes up for like the really inconsistent nature of YouTube. So I really appreciate you going that extra mile and being that generous to support me directly. Thank you. I just hope I can keep being worthy of that support, no matter how long you support me for. Like, even just a little bit means the world to me and the future of the channel. So thank you. But until next video, watch me. See me next. I'll see you there.